The Minnesota Timberwolves went in to Denver and said bye, bye, bye to the defending champions. Now, this, Jimmy, is the sixth season in a row that the defending champions have not made it past the
That's
second
crazy.
round, which is
I didn't
crazy.
even know that stat. That's wild
Now,
to me.
now I
That's so
was
wild.
watching this game last night, Jimmy, and the Timberwolves were down. They were getting beat. I was watching with my son. We said, "Oh, we're gonna watch. It's gonna
Like
be
the
great."
Knicks.
7. We're watching. Ant Edwards goes 1 of 9. We're at halftime, and I'm like, "All right, dude, go play iPhone, and I'm gonna go do some work, and this thing's over." Then he runs down into my room and says, "Dad, Dad, turn on the TV." So we turn it back on, and sure enough, the Timberwolves have gone on a 32-9 run from the 10:50 mark in the third quarter to when I turned it on with 11:14 left in the fourth quarter. And they beat the Denver Nuggets and are moving on to the Western Conference Finals.
Unbelievable.
Surprised, Jimmy, that they dethroned the
Surprise.
champs in such a dramatic fashion?
Absolutely. That's another one I picked that I thought the Denver Nuggets was going to do a championship sweep by losing the first two and then winning the last four. But the most amazing thing is neither one of the teams won a game at home. That's crazy. and Minnesota, you know, they're not not necessarily a sexy team. They got big names on the team, but they're not like the sexy team that we been following all year or followed all year. But they got a dog, and that's what they're feeding off of. Their dog is leading them. He's eating and feeding everybody else, and they carried him in stretches where he struggled. He didn't come out like gangbusters. It took him a little while to get it rolling and get started. So again, another great team win from the Timberwolves, just like the Indiana Pacers.
Jimmy, the thing that I will say about Anthony Edwards is, and I feel I have a sixth sense in kind of predicting playoffs and who's going to win. And I look at these things that are happening as the season concludes and into the playoffs. And you got a guy who's got an attitude. And it's an attitude that drives his team, waving to the fans, walking in and telling Durant to lace up his cleat or his shoes. We're gonna ball, bro. Just that complete attitude. He said, "Hey," he told the refs in Denver, "We'll see you for game 7." He told the crew cleaning the stadium, like he's calling his shot.
That's right.
And there's something about that gets all those other guys. Look, you got Rudy Gobert, he's great. You've got Cat, who played 32 points last night, right? But my guy that I think was just like on fire at times and really helped was the Naz Reid. That guy just brings a fire. So you think you got these 3 studs, and then you got the 6th man of the year just flying all over the court.
Absolutely.
So
think about this. Look, like you just gave a kind of a big 3 formula, but they're not considered a big 3.
No, they're not a big 3.
But it's kind of but they don't overlap. So you got the dog, in Edwards. You got the defensive player of the year in Gobert. You got the 6th man of the year in Nas. But there was another factor that came into play that people are downplaying or overlooking, and that's Mike Conley. Because what he allowed Edwards to do is to not dominate the ball so much, but to then come off screens, catch the ball on the run. Then he's hard to stop. He's harder to stop than necessarily having the ball in his hands all the time. So what Mike Conley did, almost having a double, 10 points, 8 assists, almost a triple-double, 7 assists and 8 rebounds. That gives room for everybody else to really focus on what they're really doing. And the true point guard position isn't dead.